Got a couple more days left. And before I jump into it, though, I want to talk a little bit about the rates. Like, why is it that we as agents want rates to go down? Oh, she just said it. Way more comfortable when rates are low because it's a little easier to find business. It's a little easier to find the motivated. So with rates higher, is it possible to find the motivated? You just have to work harder. We have to get a little more uncomfortable. We have to have different conversations. So that's actually why I'm excited about what we're talking about today. We're going to talk about mediocrity and accountability. So first of all, what is mediocrity? Mediocrity in the book that you guys are reading, or that we're all reading, which is The Miracle Morning, he says doing less than you're capable of is mediocrity. Doing less than your potential. That's it. Settling into average. And I'm going to talk about what causes us to do that. Here's what it's not, though. So this is good news. Mediocrity is not failure. And mediocrity is not a lack of ability. So if you're playing small, that's okay. We can fix that. There's ways to not be mediocre. And the reality is what causes most people to live in mediocrity is just that they're not executing. They're just not doing something. And that one or two things creates the difference between ordinary and extraordinary. And if you want extraordinary results, execution is the path to do it. So mediocrity is not who you are. It's what happens when you stop pushing, when you stop trying, or when you let news, interest rates are up, cause you to stop acting. No one's going to buy. If no one's going to buy, then what are you going to do with that information? Somebody else. Yeah, but if I think no one's going to buy, how am I going to operate with that set of information?
Stop working.
You're going to stop working. You're going to find another job. The reality is, what's the reality? Call more people. All the D's still exist, right? Divorce, diapers, diamonds, death. What am I missing? There's another D in there. I know there's another one.
It's a job thing with
diapers is what I'm doing right now.
Diapers. I thought I said diapers. I swear there's another one. Anyways.
It's a job.
Default's one. All right. So if you don't choose growth, you drift into average. So no structure equals inconsistency. We talked about $1 Million Database today, and I actually posed this question to you guys, I don't know, a month ago. And I was like, we've spent all this time, energy, and money. Do we have $1 Million Database? Does City of Trees Real Estate operate $1 Million Database? Yes. And then I said, why aren't you making $1 million? All it is execution, right? We can perform almost all of it, but what we can't do is manage the actual relationship. That's on you guys. All right. So knowledge isn't the problem because you guys already know how to call, you know how to follow up, and believe it or not, everyone in this room knows how to track because we've taught you how to do that. We've taught you what you actually have to do to track. And here's some proof. So doctors, would you say that the perception is that doctors know the most about health? Like they went to school and studied the body. Sure. They studied anatomy. And so this profession has all the knowledge, yet they, in large part, are the most unhealthy profession in the world. They suffer from high stress, sleep deprivation, lack of consistency, poor diet. So it's not knowledge. We all have the knowledge. In fact, we have a plethora, sometimes too much knowledge, which causes the issue, right? So beyond knowledge, knowing exactly what to do, comfort, which is I wish rates would go lower. because it's a lot easier to have the conversation when you call someone, they're like, hey, I want to buy, rates just dropped. That's easy. Versus calling and then saying, I think I want to hold because rates went up. That's a harder conversation. Now, I think I want to hold because rates went up. Does that mean that they're not going to do anything or that they shouldn't? We don't know yet. But that's just a harder conversation to figure that out. All right. Here's what I talk about the most is the weight of mediocrity, the weight of what we actually have to experience, which is, you should do more, but you don't. And then you live with that stress. You live with that anxiety. You live with that regret. You live with that, and on and on and on. Anybody ever feel that? I think we all do. And it sometimes can be crippling. And then when we rely on ourselves, so anybody ever experience this? You rely on yourself to do something. You commit to it. You fall out and you stop doing it. Future thing comes up and you're like, I would, but I always quit, so I'm not going to. Anybody ever experience some form of that? Where you're just not good at holding yourself accountable and then you just decide not to do the thing because you never do the thing to actually do the thing? That's this.
Yes.
That's this showing up before it even happens now. You've been conditioned. So here's the pattern. It's not always just one thing. So people think mediocrity is a choice. It's not. It's the decision to skip just today. I'm going to skip just today. That compounds. I'm going to delay it a little till tomorrow. Do something different. And then you repeat that over and over again. That is what compounds. It's the weekend. I mean, we can let's go. We can go down that list, right? Of all the reasons. Guess what precedes all of these? Negotiating with yourself. Precedes all of these. What's the reason why I should skip today? Wow, man, last night I didn't get very much sleep. I'm not really feeling it today. In fact, I feel like if I talk to a consumer right now, I'd rip their head off. So I'm gonna skip today. Right? By the way, we are the best at negotiating with ourselves. You want to talk about a strong negotiator?
You know all your weaknesses, right?
Totally. Yeah. So, like I said, it's not a knowledge problem, but here's the true issue, right? It's an accountability problem. So, why, first of all, do you think we avoid accountability? Because it's hard?
Well, if you're putting your feet to the fire, it's uncomfortable.
It's uncomfortable, feet to the fire. Why else? Here's the first one, and this is actually out of the book, The Miracle Morning. It was forced on us, so we are conditioned or programmed to move away from accountability. So as a child, hey, you need to do this. You have to be in bed by this time. You have to eat this dinner. You have to do this. You have to do that. You have to be to school. By the time the bell rings, do this, do that, do this, do that. By the time you turn 18, they release you with the word freedom.
I'm gonna eat ice cream in bed if I want.
Yeah. And then every ounce of freedom that you live is one step away from accountability. It's a downward spiral, and you keep stepping away and stepping away. The freedom feels good, but it's just more steps into comfort. It keeps feeling better and better. That's why we stray from it, because it was conditioned, and then we were just thrown into the world with a bunch of freedom overnight, a lot of times. So now you resist it. It also exposes you. Anybody in here have an ego? Just me? Yeah, it like shines a flashlight on you. You're now out in the open when you have to be accountable. If it's not visible, it's a lot easier to hide from it. Your ego, by the way, is designed to protect you. So how could you use your ego to do the thing you're supposed to do? Chase, you got a good idea around this, don't you?
Yeah.
How can you use your ego?
Well, I think if you're the kind of person who wants to look good and be right, which is
every person I've ever met. Then let people know what you intend to do.
Yeah.
So public accountability.
Public accountability. So weird. I think we're going to get into that. So accountability, uncomfortable action leads to avoidance. This is typical path of discomfort. We have accountability, maybe the wrong kind or a weaker type of accountability. Then there's uncomfortable action that's required. And then a lot of times we negotiate with ourselves and completely just avoid the thing that we know we're supposed to do, which then compounds and turns into more stress and anxiety. Yes.
We got plenty of time, so I just thought I'd add this on the freedom thing. And I don't know if you're going to go into it because I missed Friday, unfortunately. That freedom you're given leads to a complete lack of freedom.
Yes.
So I was just wondering if you could expand on that a little bit, and I can too if you want. But like you go from having all this, do this, and now you're like, I can do whatever I want. I don't want to be told what to do.
Yes.
So what am I getting at?
Here, I'll give you an example of my thoughts on it. Early on in my career, I said I'm not going to time block. I want the freedom inside of my schedule to do what I want. So I'm going to like run my day and handle things as they come. The visual of my day committed to and all the time committed to me was control. To me was a lack of freedom. So now fast forward, anybody ever been busy and you didn't have a time block? Anybody ever have that issue? What happens?
You're a trainer now.
Yeah.
Nothing gets done, balls get dropped.
Where does your freedom go? Because the time that you were supposed to have off spending time with your kid, what's happening now?
You're putting out fires.
Putting out fires, playing catch up. Your brain, that's the biggest one. You don't know that you didn't do or should have done or any of that. So because of that, you're living with it. So you no longer have freedom.
Well, the pattern we see so often is you come to work. I don't want to make calls.
Yes.
Right. I got email. I'm going to check my email. I'm going to, talk to so-and-so. I'm going to follow up on that one thing I said I would do. And then you're like, oh, the day's over. Then you go home and because this goes back to the friction you had on like 3 or 4 slides ago. You go home and you didn't do what you said you'd do. Maybe one more. Back. Where's it at?
Right there.
Yeah, it creates that stress right there where you're like, I don't deserve to relax. I don't have time to listen to what my kid's saying. I don't have, because you didn't make calls. So you start like texting people. And essentially, wherever you're at, you're not there, right? Because you're at work and you're thinking about home, like, gosh, I'm not a good mom or dad or spouse or whatever. I'm going to do something. And then you get home and you're like, gosh, I'm not a good real estate agent. I need to call so-and-so. I need to follow up, blah, blah, blah. Like, that's the cycle that we see repeat over and over and over again.
Yeah. So in essence, what I hear you saying is because there's lack of consistency and follow through and on your commitments, you end up living in the commitment you should have done at the wrong time on both ends.
Yeah, so you have no freedom effectively,
Yeah.
right? You wanted freedom and you did that by avoiding what you need to do, and it ends up actually giving you the complete opposite, where you have no freedom, you have no free time, you can't relax.
Yeah. Freedom, true freedom, is the result of extreme discipline, like true freedom. Like if you want to have the freest life ever, before the free happens, discipline happens. That's the reality. People with very disciplined calendars have the most freedom. They have the most time to spend doing the things they want to do because of the level of discipline to their commitments. So another reason why we avoid it is fear. If you commit to it and you might fail, you might not succeed. That's funny, right? We run from failure only to fail. Think about
It just
that.
takes longer, right?
Yeah. Oh, that's interesting. Choose your hard.
Yeah. One of them's a really slow, like methodical failure. The other one's like I call and someone yells at me.
Wow. My watch. What time is it actually? Because I think
11:34.
Okay. So yeah, we are quite a bit ahead of time. Perfect. All right. So when you're hidden, so no one is watching you and you negotiate with yourself, you skip, you justify, you delay. You skip, you justify, you delay. This actually becomes your playlist. And then I would say you live in the stress and not present in the moment is probably the fourth one. Because whatever moment you're in, you're thinking about the other moment that you should have done the thing that you were supposed to do. All right. So you actually don't avoid accountability because it doesn't work, by the way. Most people avoid it because it will work and they're scared of what will happen if it does. A lot of people are scared of success and what that might look like. Like, what if I don't know how to handle it? What if I don't know how to handle that much business? Or what if I don't know how to answer the things that people are going to bring to me? Whatever the justification is, that's what we do.
Do you think that's a subconscious fear, or do you think they actually think about that?
Oh, I think it's subconscious for sure. Like, I don't think people.
I think about it. I think about that all the time, actually. Like, it's on my mind constantly. I'm always thinking, if I were to achieve these goals, it's going to require this. I know what it requires, and I'm like, can I actually maintain that pace forever? So I actually think about that quite a bit. Can I run at this pace for the next 10, 15 years? The goals that I have are big. That feels like I can't maintain that for a long time.
I think we should unpack this for a second, because what's super interesting about that, what comes to my mind is ceiling of achievement, right? Like,
Yes.
meaning where you're at right now with your current skill set, habits, mindset, the systems that you have, you name it, right? It feels like in order to get to X, would I ever be able to maintain that for X amount of time? Mm-hmm. The reality is what happens when you find success is you find better habits, better systems, better skill sets, and your business finds different gears. So in other words, like if you get to X amount of closings, those X amount of closings start to compound into other closings. So now you're not having to fight as hard to go find the closings. So it frees up a gap of lead generation or whatever here, right? That gets freed up to do this. So what's interesting is if you were to ask anybody in this room, including me, if I were to go talk to me 5 years ago and say, Brent, in 5 years from now, this is what you're going to be doing and all the things you're going to be taking on and the tasks you're going to be doing and the business you're going to be running, I'm going to be like, based on where I'm at, there's no way I would ever find time to be able to do that without burnout. Mm-hmm. And what's interesting is all the times where I bumped up against the ceiling of achievement, I did feel burnout. I did feel, how am I going to do this? But the path is then you have to figure out, what system do I need in my life? What new habit or what old habit do I need to get rid of? What's not serving me anymore? Mm-hmm. Who do I need in my life helping me see a different path? What knowledge do I have? What skill set do I need that will improve my abilities? Break through this
reminds me of the pump analogy. You guys know how a pump works, a hand pump on a well? Basically, there's a tube that goes down into the water, and then you're pumping air in it, and you're pressurizing the line. And you pump 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 and you pump, and nothing happens. And you're like, what am I pumping for? And then, some people keep pumping. A lot of them quit, and they become lenders or something. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Damn.
If the title guy was here, I'd be like, they become escrow officers or salespeople. So a couple of them keep pumping, right? And then a drop comes out. You guys ever use a hand well? You see like just a little bit of water comes out? And you're like, holy cow, I pumped for like 2 minutes to get a drop. I can't keep pumping like this to get a full glass of water. There's no way. Right? But what happens, everyone knows if you've ever done it, like you're literally only a few more pumps away from having it flow. That's just like this business. Mm-hmm. It's just like this business. Because when you first get in, if you've joined our team and you're new in this business, how many calls do you need to make? Right away. 1,000 calls. Right away. How many deals do you close from those 1,000 calls, by the way? A lot of people don't close any. And even if you closed one deal, you'd be like, oh my God, I got to make 1,000 calls to close one deal. I want to be like Kara. She's going to close 100 deals this year. I'm going to have to make 1 billion calls or whatever the math is. I know it's not a billion. It's a lot, right? So that's what's going through your head, but that's not how it works. Kara doesn't make 1,000 calls to close 1 deal. Okay, I don't know what she's making, but it ain't 1,000 calls, right? It's because you get better. And like Brent said, you start to close more deals, more people trust you, they start to refer you. Those people you sold homes to 5 years ago start to sell their homes and they buy another one. It gets easier and easier and easier. So the problem is where you're standing today, your goal's at the horizon, right? And so you're going to be like hiking to the horizon, but everything's changing on your way. Like I guarantee you go back to before you started for our company, was that 3 years ago?
Yeah.
2.5 years ago? Before you started for our company, I guarantee you didn't think you could do what you're doing right now.
Well, that's facts. Yeah, very true.
Okay? And you, admittedly, think you're not even pushing yourself as hard as you could right now, right?
100%.
So just imagine 3 years from now, like what you're going to be doing and how easy it feels, right? So I don't know if that makes sense, but it's just...
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah, very good. Thank you.
Francesca, what do you got?
I was just going to say also, Ty, like you already understand once your mind kind of, expands to a certain point, it's really hard to then contract to obviously where you are right now. So it is hard to envision something, but once you just keep grinding and things just happen, it's like all of a sudden you just notice that you can handle harder, better. It's just like once you kind of, like once your mind expands to a certain point, but it's like right now, of course, you just have to get to that point, but you're already almost there.
Who else? Someone else going to say something? Okay. I think that's a great point, Francesca. Once your capabilities, your mind has expanded, it doesn't shrink. It doesn't go back. It's like you've created the new standard. Yeah. And so everything you just said is true, except you are capable of doing the things that you say, can I keep this pace forever? The answer is yes, because the pace will feel different as you engulf or embark on it.
Yeah, I mean, you don't see babies like crawl and be like,
I'm going to have to crawl forever.
I'm just going to lay down for the rest of my life.
Can't crawl around this world. Look at all these people walking around. All right, so there are 3 levels of accountability. Okay, the first one, this is the weakest form of accountability, which is self-accountability. So because this happens, I'll do it later. Right?
I'll work out tomorrow.
I'll work out tomorrow.
Every day.
Right? But by the way, this is why, now I'm not saying self-accountability is impossible and that you shouldn't do it. I'm just saying it's the weakest form. And this is why identity, I think, is the most important. So in the Atomic Habits, he talks about identity being you identify the person you are that supports the habit. So you said work out. Instead of you saying, my goal is to work out, you say, I am a person who works out every day. That's it. That's who I am. The habit then starts to reinforce that because that's how your brain's geared. So self-accountability is not bad. It's just not the best form. And there are strategies inside of self-accountability like identity. The next one, peer. This is even better. Someone is watching, which means you show up differently. So how might this look, peer? Peer could be this group. Peer could be you setting a goal or committing to something and then telling your family members, if we hit X, then we're going to do Y. Or if I hit X, then the family is going to do Y. Talk about accountability. You get home every day and they're like, did you do the thing? Did you do the thing? Did you do the thing? Right? So that's forms of peer accountability. And then the best, besides, this is taking out of the equation like true one-on-one coaching accountability, scoreboard paired with public commitment. So what this means is that you actually know the truth because you track your numbers. You actually know the truth because you know the equation. And then commitment out loud removes any space to hide. So outwardly saying, I'm going to do this thing, and you actually show the numbers, that's the best form of commitment that you can do besides one-on-one coaching. Although you can still hide from in one-on-one coaching without this, without proper tracking and commitment. So, all right. Ahas. I mean, we already had some really good ones. What's going through your heads? Who's scared to talk about accountability?
I feel like I have ADHD. I know that I do. I know that I do.
All right, Stacy, go ahead.
So I'm listening to this and I'm kind of laughing and I'm almost ready to cry because it's like you were just speaking to me this whole time. I'm like, oh shit. So thank you for this. It's been very helpful.
All right, guys, it worked. It worked. This was only for you, and everybody was in on it. No, the funny thing is as I'm reading Miracle Morning, I reread chapter 3 over and over again. It was on mediocrity, and I'm like, is he freaking talking to me? Because we just all fall into it. So, thank you. What was yours?
I was just gonna say, like, for people with ADHD brain, they don't lack, like you were saying, they don't lack the desire to want to do it. It's how to organize themselves to be able to be capable of doing it. And this is where I realize I struggle the most. I have all the ideas and things I should be doing, and then I can sit there for a good hour and think about those things and never execute on them. So it's sometimes like failure to launch, if
Okay.
that makes sense.
Analysis paralysis.
Yeah.
Paralysis, and it just can kind of snowball, and then it goes into the feelings of, well, now you suck, you're lazy, you're this, you're that, and then the next day you're like, I'm going to start again, and then the cycle continues. So this is dead on with stuff I've been
Okay, so
reaching.
let me ask you a question. Knowing what you know about yourself and ADHD brain that you have, what could you do to support that?
I have no idea. This is where I'm actually using ChatGPT.
Okay.
And I've been telling it all the things I need to get done, and then asking it to help create a schedule for like a daily, like just accomplishing one accomplishment to feel like I'm successful, and then we'll go on from there.
Got it.
So that's where I'm starting.
So, is there anything else that you can think of that because you know yourself better than anybody else? Is there anything else you could think of that a habit that you need to remove, or you could add a skill set that you need to add, something that would support that besides the ChatGPT thing? I think that's a great advice.
Yeah. Well, I already did it. Like last week, if you guys saw, I put in the group that I was going to go to Hawaii, and I already booked it and all the things, but I made the tickets refundable, and I have to set my goal today with Rebecca. And if I don't hit it, then I'm going to refund mine, and everyone else can go without me. So,
Okay.
yeah.
So,
And I made it public so I could
Yeah.
embarrass myself.
so you just said the punchline, right? Like
Yeah.
ADHD brains, they need something to chase, is what I've found.
Mhm.
And it's like, I kind of have one, but my wife has
I get
one.
so
By the way, I
excited.
think the more stuff we're all exposed to, the more stimulus we're all exposed to, the more social media we're all exposed to. I actually think that it's just having that style of brain becomes more and more common. But like, this is the time-tested truth. When we can set out a pain and pleasure goal, make a commitment to it, publicly announce it, and then have someone watch you, your brain is going to get rid of all the noise, and it's going to say, this is the most simple thing I need to do in order to do that.
Yep.
So I'll give you a perfect example for me. I'm going through it right now. I'm heavily exploring the idea of building a house, which is way more money than I ever thought I would spend on a house. I'm like, I've never been a spend money on a house guy. The second I said yes and put the commitment in with the builder, it was like, oh shit. And then all of the stuff that was noise that I was focusing on to build my business or do things to make money, whatever, it like went away. And it was like, the only thing that's important is this, this, and this.
Yep.
This is what's actually going to move the needle to drive the result that's going to give me what I want. So
What I think you're saying in a different way is you're removing complexity.
yes.
So when you say I get distracted easily, what's distracting you? It's the complexities you've built into your world.
Yes.
I've tried to say this as many times as I can. We only have 2 jobs as a real estate agent. What are they? Legion. You should be helping someone buy and sell real estate. That's job 1. If you don't have any work, then you need to do job 2, which is what? Find someone who wants to buy and sell real estate. That's it. There's literally nothing else that exists in this, especially on a team, by the way, because everything's removed. It's I'm helping someone buy and sell. Oh, I don't have a job, so I'm going to go find work, which is essentially go find people who want to buy and sell. That's it. And everything else that is in your world, especially your workday, it's just an excuse for you to not do one of your 2 jobs.
Yeah, and if you want to get better at doing the job of finding people, the science of scaling, they talk about setting a goal, but then putting a tight timeline around it. Not because you might or might not accomplish it in that tight timeline, but because when you put a big goal into a tight timeline, it removes options. It starts to say, well, yeah, I want to close. So let's say, Ty, you're like, you know what, I'm going to do 30 deals this year. Well, that's a tight timeline now to knock out 30 deals. But you have to. If you absolutely have to. You have no choice. You might be doing things right now that doesn't support you going out and getting 30 deals. Right. So you're like, well, that doesn't support it. That doesn't support it. That doesn't support it. This does.
Well, let's put
I'll do more of those.
Let's put it a different way. Like if you had to sell 1 home this year, there's a lot of ways you can do that, right? It could be an open house. It could be like waiting for your uncle.
You can go spin a cardboard box on the street.
Yeah.
Buy a house.
You could probably do that and you could probably get a deal.
Yeah.
But if you had to sell 50 in a year, there's less ways to do that.
Yep.
Right? You can't, you have a certain amount of activity you have to do, which means like I don't have the freedom, the quote freedom, which is fake freedom, right? To do whatever I want. Like I have to be in the office at a certain time. I have to be making calls at a certain time. Right. And if you wanted to sell 1,000 homes in a year, well, it's like, well, I can't work with someone who's going to buy or sell 1. I need to find someone who, like, my minimum buy or sell has to be 10. So who buys or sells 10 homes or more per year? You're removing options, right? Now it's just builders, developers, investors, like.
Yeah.
So just to give you guys examples of what we're trying to help you with. So the bigger the goal and the tighter time frame removes options. There's only certain ways that you can hit those.
Love it.
What other ahas or thoughts are you guys having?
One more.
You can
One
just
more.
pick someone.
I'm about ready to. You guys ready for some accountability?
Comfortable with the silence.
Just trying to respect your time is what I'm doing.
Oh, she's calling for it.
I'll do it. I was on the call on Friday, and Bree brought up that she does much better when she works out if she meets somebody to work out. And it made me think about it. And I was like, you know what? When I was like consistently making it to the gym at 4:30 a.m., it was because I was meeting a group of ladies there. And you did not want to let them down and just text them and be like, I know they didn't want to get up and I'm sleeping in. So having like individual accountability, especially with certain people in here, Francesca, who are really competitive, having a group chat like where she and I can just go toe to toe and see who gets the most listings would be a good way for us to both benefit each other. So I was thinking I need to have more personal accountability. Let's go, girl.
Yeah, we actually did talk about accountability partners. When someone else is counting on you to show up and you know that changes the conversation quite a bit. Great. Awesome. Okay, gratitude. Someone on Zoom. And then we'll go Brittany. Anybody else want to volunteer for gratitude? Just Brittany? Okay, so I'm going to volunteer Mark.
And Violet.
And Violet.
Thanks for humoring me. I'm really grateful for Kai. I got to fly down with him and get him to San Diego and drop him off on the trail yesterday morning at like the ass crack of dawn. And I'm really excited for him. I'm proud of him. He's already, as of this afternoon, gone 20 miles. He stopped and got burritos at some random lake place. So he's living his best life. But I'm grateful for the team and for real estate because I was able to work with another realtor because we're doing a build that we're signing on right now. So he was able to work with them while I was gone. And then Becky was taking care of everything for my close tomorrow. So it gives me the opportunity to go cheer on my child because of the job that I chose in this great team. So thank you.
I'm just grateful for my family and grateful I got to spend some time with them on spring break.
Sweet.
I am grateful for the short winter that we had and it being warm already.
True. All right. That's awesome, guys.